How's it going, everybody? It is 2026, the first show of the new year, January 12th. Well, on my side of the world, maybe 11th if you're in America, I think. It is 10 a.m., 10:05 a.m., and we are kicking off with a fun show. I've got Helena Crevar live, I think. We're supposed to have her now, but I don't know where she is. I'll chase her up in a sec. But yes, got a live chat with her. Plenty of fight news to get through. A lot has happened. I basically took the last 3 weeks off. No apologies. I just have a Christmas break, New Year break. Recharging the batteries, feeling good, ready to go now. Luckily, not too much happened while I was taking a bit of downtime. Just the odd bit of fight news, but I had to spring back into action briefly a few days ago when they announced Nico Carrillo versus Shadow for the interim featherweight Muay Thai title. So, of course, yeah, had to cover that one. I wanted to do a live show as well to do that, but I enforced myself. I'm gonna have this break because I need a break. It's a long year. Don't get many chances to actually take any time off because there's non-stop events usually. I think there's at least 45 Friday fight shows. So if you do the math, that is not many breaks. There's not many weeks where there's not some fights going on in the World of One Championship. So back and ready to go. And Friday Fights is back as well this week. One Friday Fights 138 going to be covering that. The card just dropped last night. It's on my socials. If you haven't seen it, we'll be covering that. But the big news as well, yes, Nico versus Shadow. Also, Ty Rotolo has a title defense coming up. A few other big fights announced for the show this month. One Fight Night 39. And of course, February show, One Fight Night 40, and even One Fight Night 41 in March. So things are kicking off. A few other things, possibly Martin Nguyen coming back out of retirement. Who saw that coming? Well, I had heard rumblings, so I'm not too surprised. But the interesting thing, there's a little twist in that tale. It might not be what you think. Also, yes, we'll be having a little celebration here. I've celebrated a lot the last few weeks, but I've saved this moment. This arrived yesterday, I think, or the day before. I can't remember. I think it was yesterday. In the mail, my YouTube 100. Oh, cover my address. Don't want you guys to track me down. No, feel free if you want. My YouTube 100,000 subscribers award, which we hit, I think, sometime in December, which is pretty cool. We're going to be unboxing that. Oh, I shouldn't do it right now. So I'm going to save it, but yeah, we'll get into that and have a little bit of fun. But yes, thank you all for subscribing. Now over 104,000. So we're going for the next milestone, which is 1 million. Could be a while before I get that. I'm a bit unkempt here. Apologies. I haven't been to the barbers for a few. I think last time I went was before Friday Fights 137. So yeah, I'm overdue for a beard trim. I tried to sneak it in yesterday. Wasn't possible. I've been laying low. Yes, I know some of you probably have been messaging me on various platforms, and I haven't been getting back to you. I'm sorry about that. I'm back in the saddle today, though. Just wanted to really disconnect for a while, and yeah, I'm feeling good. 100K subs, let's go. Story of the fight, yes, sir. Thank you. One of my members, one of my beloved members. Thanks for all your support, sir. Big Will. Posters are up. Yeah, I'm starting to get the, what do you call it, the decor going. You can see behind the chair. Probably should position that thing elsewhere, but there's some of the other memorabilia I've accumulated over the years. The gloves, the Starbucks Muay Thai bear, which was given to me by Shannon Wurchai and his wonderful wife Bailey on my birthday last month. Yeah, when I went out to Bangkok. It's pretty cool. A bear Easter, I think they call it, and a Muay Thai robe with the gloves. It's pretty cool. There's a few other bits and bobs there. My white belt from my brief jiu-jitsu phase, and a few other things. Yeah. Super Lecken Haggerty glass plaque from Denver, which got me stopped at the airport on the way back. And yeah, we'll be getting the rest of the memorabilia. I'm really trying to track down a replica title belt for. Oh, really? Apparently, Helena is tomorrow. That's a shame. I've just been told. I put it in my calendar as today. I mixed it up. Sorry, guys. We'll hit that tomorrow. Yeah, that is my fault. I've just got it wrong. Apologies, guys. No Helena Crevar interview, but that's fine. We will just do that tomorrow, and we will have a bit of fun today without Helena. Sorry, guys, if you were tuning in for that. What a shame. But now you know it's tomorrow. You can look forward to that. And there's a few others as well I've got lined up this week. Yeah, thank Bear has just told me. Shout out to Bear. I just put it in my phone the wrong day, as I do. So I've got a few others. Yes, I got Chase Mann, who's a new MMA fighter coming to one from America as well. He'll be on the January Fight Night card. I think that one is Wednesday. Yes, it is. Same time. So Helena, same time here tomorrow. Well, if you're in America, it's Monday night. And Chase Mann is Wednesday morning, Asia time, Tuesday night, America time. So then we got Natalie Salcedo as well on Thursday, a little bit later, but same deal, Wednesday night, America. So plenty of shows for you this week, guys. One of my plans this year is to go big on the YouTube. Because a lot obviously 100,000 subs, but a lot of them come from the shorts. I want to up my long form game. I want to up the live stream game. Really, that's my big thing, because it's fallen by the wayside a little bit the last year or so. Apologies with the baby and everything. It was difficult to fit these ones in, but life's a little bit more settled now. So gonna get these going again. And hopefully you enjoy them. Yeah, I enjoy them. It's always fun chatting to you guys, and yeah, I'm hoping to do more than one every week. Maybe 3, 4, 5 a week. Yeah, I want to hit one every morning when I wake up for an hour or so. So you get your daily fix of one championship news. I know you're missing it. Yeah, the posters are going up. I got a lot more. I'm just trying to navigate where they're all going to go, because I've got some angles here. The roof, below the roof. Yeah, I was trying to get I said I was trying to get a title belt. If anyone knows where to get one of those, please let me know. I found one here on eBay. Why don't I share it on screen? Yeah, what do we all think of this? Did I get a text saying Uber charged me $1,800? Looks like spam. Okay. No, it was not. It's a free trial or something, but I'll deal with that later. Little bit heart and mouth sore text saying 1,800 Hong Kong dollars. Of course, still a lot of money for me. I thought I'd been fraudulently charged for a trip I didn't take. But who goes that far? That is a long taxi ride. All right. Yeah, here's the belt. What do you think, guys? Should I buy this? 200 US. Does it look real? I'm not sure. I want to put one in the background here on the cabinet. I don't know, it looks kind of fake to me, but we'll see. There was a couple others on eBay. Here's one as well. I think it would be cool, because I don't think you can buy it on one's website or one shop, so it would be nice if you could. I think that would be fun. A lot of people would buy them, actually. A lot of fans in WWE like to carry around the belts, and yeah, why not? I think you sold those at shows outside. It doesn't have to be like the full heavy bad boys. Perhaps a bit lighter. Doesn't have to be exact replicas, but I think that could be a nice little product for one shop, whatever it's called, one.shop.com. Don't know what it is. So yeah, we'll try and get the bell. Let me get into the comments. Nice to see a few people here. What's up? Gred et. I can't understand that message, but I hope it says 2026, so I'm sure it's a positive message for 2026. Ong Nine So, my guy, says congrats. Nick, I want Ong on the show. I want you, sir, to come on and talk about everything Myanmar soon. We're going to hook that up. I tried to do it at the end of last year, but Christmas break got in the way. So definitely going to have Ong on the show. He's the #1 Burmese reporter covering combat sports, especially covering one championship. But he does everything else, and he's a superstar. Check him out on Facebook, especially. The tie-net shirt, nowhere to be seen. Shaking my head. I think I had to throw that one out, man, because it stank so bad. Like it, yeah, it was Ben. It was literally the shirt off of Ben's back, and he'd torn it in half. So there was no actual way of framing it, and it was just kind of this smelly, ripped T-shirt. And I'm sorry, Ben. You know, maybe I get a proper one that's not been ripped, but that was a pretty cool memento. I might have it somewhere. I'm not sure. Combat Sports Today. Hello, how are you? Another one of my members. Great to see you. Back-to-back shows. Oh well, yeah. There's going to be back-to-back. I got big plans for this year. We're going to have Friday fights stuff. Probably not a 3-hour watch along or 6-hour watch along because those are very long. But I'm planning to do a recap at the end of each Friday fights. We're going to be a bit more active for Friday fights this year. But some big news coming on Friday fights as well. I'll get into in a minute. Changing scenery, anonymous. Yeah. In case you all missed it, I moved house last month or the end of November. So things are pretty much set up now, nearly. Still haven't put all my shit up here, but we're getting there. Evening, everyone. Sean James, hello. How are you? Farm those Friday fight shows, content every week. Yeah, I will. Gonna be very, very active with that in terms of I think we're gonna do a live show maybe kick it off when the main events are on, so you can catch the end of the fight, and then we can discuss everything that happened. I think it'll be tough to do like a 6-hour watch along. I tried it once or twice. It's very difficult, especially now because the big news is they've got a new start time, 6:30 p.m. local time, so it's even longer. I think it is what now, 6:30 to 11:30 there, so 5 hours, I think. Yeah, it is pretty brutal. But 14 fights. We'll get into that in a sec. The betting boys are always watching Friday fight shows. Yeah. It's not something I do. I'm not a gambler, but I know there's a lot of love I see it on Twitter or X. People betting on the fights. If that's your thing, do it. I'm not really good at giving out advice. You shouldn't follow my advice. Get buyer protection. Is that on eBay? I don't know what it is. I'll have a look. Take one from Musa Mechi. You don't need any more. And he's got 10 of them. Mikey, if you're watching and you want to give me one of your 10 belts you apparently have, I will happily take it. Thought someone used your account. Is that on the Uber? So I'm just catching up on my texts here. My messages. Message the seller for a pic in real life of the belt. Yeah, I may do. It's a lot of money though to put down. I want to buy a replica just to walk around with it at the airport. Anonymous says, I'll make up an obscure division and sport for myself. I have seen videos of people walking around airports in UFC tracksuits, like the fight tracksuit, and maybe, I'm not sure they have a belt, but people just think they are UFC fighters and will come up and take selfies with them. It's quite funny. I think it was a TikTok prank. Sean James found wrestling belts on Walmart website cheaper than the actual promotion sites. Maybe Walmart's going to do one championship belts. I don't know. Tell me, Americans. That would be a cool display for you to have. I want one of the older belt designs. Yeah, I would love to get the old one too. Maybe I can hang them on the wall by the strap so they drape down like a butcher. I'm going to have hooks here and you can swing in my face. No, that's a bit weird. Right. Team up with ESR and those bad boys. They always know what's going on with FF shows. Did I call them bad boys or those boys? Yeah, I know ESR a little bit, and I see he's always tweeting about the odds and things. So Yeah, I'll get a. I'm not sure I'm gonna have a live element during those things, but we'll see. We'll see. Live is a big commitment for what could now be 5-hour shows, 14 fights, especially when it hits those Thai versus Thai Muay Thai fights in the second half of the show. I have no idea who most of them are. I would really need a knowledgeable co-host who's very into the local Thai scene to carry that hour or two until the co-main event hits, and not sure I can get someone like that on short notice, but we'll see. All right, well, I've got through the comments. Apologies again if you're tuning in for the Helena Crevar interview. It is not today. I should have properly checked my messages. It is tomorrow, so I put it in my phone as today. But yeah, I don't know why. Clearly a little bit tired still from, well, yeah, always tired at the moment, but things are getting a bit easier now. But I'm happy that you're all tuning in. And we can start getting into the news. Yeah, the big news here, as I put in the chat, was sorry, didn't put in the chat. As I said at the beginning of the show, it was Nico versus Shadow. So why don't we discuss this fight? I'll put it on screen. Oh, well, let's stay on Friday fights for the minute because that just came out last night. Sorry, Nico and Shadow. Here's the card. Yeah, so the big takeaways: 14 fights. I didn't even clock this when the card was posted. I'm in this group, the Thai media group for One Championship, where they post the materials. And yeah, I grabbed the card when it came out. And I posted. I didn't even clock that it's 14 fights, But then someone commented on it on Twitter, I think, when I posted it there, and oh, and then I didn't even know either. It was 6:30, and I suddenly saw. So I texted a couple of people at once. Said, "Is this the permanent thing?" And yeah, the answer I got is that 6:30 is going to be the new permanent start time, and at least through January, I think they're going to do 14 fights, but that's not certain. So it may start earlier but end earlier, I guess, is what is up. But I'm not against that. If it was to end by 10:30 local time and start, that would be fine because it'll be a bit easier for me to do my live or my recaps. If it was to end at 11:30 here, I can maybe get to bed by 1 a.m. But every Friday is going to be a bit long for me. It's fine. But yeah, it's a new start time and it's a new show. It's quite a nice card here. Some big names on it. Just looking at it, we knew that main event already. Pompet and Dead Show. Dead Show looks quite fun. From Sing Nguyen, I think he had a couple of cool fights with Suryan Lek. They won one each. That should be a good main event. Chart Payak and Ayad Albada. Albada looks very good. Another one coming off the Venom production line. I think he had a pretty crazy KO in his last win. Yes, I remember against Pet Lampoon, first round knockout. He's won 3 in a row, 2 knockouts in his last 2 fights. Lost a couple of decisions in the beginning of his career, including one to Johan Ghazali's brother. I believe it is Elias Ghazali. Or have I got that completely wrong? I think it is Jojo's brother. And T.I. So yeah, he's back 3 wins in a row now. So I think he's primed to get a contract soon. Who knows if he gets another big knockout here? He could be fast-tracked up the ladder. But I could, they need strawweight guys, especially in both Muay Thai, but also kickboxing. So from what I understand, yeah, there's going to be a bit more action at strawweight. And we saw the strawweight MMA division was saved with with Pasio losing essentially. So they're re-injecting some life into that in the MMA side. I think kickboxing. I can't really say anything at the moment, but there will be a lot of movement on that front later this year, from what I know. And looks like Muay Thai. They're starting to sign guys in this division, which is good because I like strawweight. A lot of people say, "Nah, it's too small," but I think it's fun. It's fun. You see a lot like very high level technique on display, and especially if you throw in some knockouts in the mix with the 4 ounce gloves, it's awesome for me. So Albada could be coming up. Who knows, dudes? And then where else? Logan Chan, my boy from Hong Kong. Well, he's essentially he lives in Scotland, but his dad is from Hong Kong. I think he told me, and he grew up in Scotland, so I still give him the Hong Kong push, and he's looked really good in his career so far. He's had a couple of wins in one Friday fights, both by knockout, up against the spectacularly named Pet Garfield. I love this guy too. But Logan Chan, a very exciting prospect. I could see him doing very well. The 4 ounce gloves seem to suit him a lot. He's really putting Scotland and Hong Kong on the map. So watch out for him. I think he's going to the top. I'm a bit biased, but yes, I like him. Very nice kid as well. Very, very polite and just a pleasure to chat to. So if you see him around, he's very approachable. And who else? Petnin McCorn. I like this guy too. He's back against Toyota. I'm also keen to see Ubaid Hussein. You know how good he is against Brazil, who's also very talented. That should be a great fight. Flyweight Muay Thai. I think, Ubaid Hussein, potential star for the UK coming out there. He's had a great start to his career in one Friday fights, at least. I think a future contract winner. I think Logan Chan as well, future contract winner. Ayada Bada, future contract winner. A lot of these guys are future stars, I believe. Rifdeen Mastor. I think if he wins this fight, I think by finish, I think he gets the contract. I believe it was set up for him last time, but he didn't get the finish. One is pushing its Malaysian stars pretty heavy again now, and I think the cat's kind of out of the bag. They were looking for a show in Malaysia in December last month. Nearly came together. I knew about it at the time, but it was kind of told off record. But told a lot of other people have talked to me about it, so I think it's safe to say, yes, they were trying to get something going in Malaysia with Alif, and even Chatri talked about it. Alif and Rajan Chai was going to be the main event, but it fell through. But I think they have Jojo on this January card, don't they? Jojo Ghazali, if I'm correct. Yes, against Sean Klamako. And Jihan Radzawan is somewhere soon. I think she's in February. Let me double check. Yes, she is. And Rifdeen's on this card. Alif just coming off a win. So when these things happen, I just get a little bit of a spidey sense. I think they may be setting up a Malaysia show, because if you can get your 4 biggest names, I think those are on the Malaysia side: Alif, Jojo, Rifdeen, and Jihin. Get them all a win. It sets them up nicely to get featured high up on a Malaysia show, which they're going to need them to sell tickets there. That's just what my intuition's telling me. It might be like that. It may not, but they did it. You saw when they had the Japan show, they rushed Ayaka Miura into action on Friday fights to get her a win, so that she could get a title shot, and then they rushed Noiri onto the January show to get him a win, and anyone they wanted to feature high, they just wanted to have a win, so it looks like they can justify them getting a big billing, on that show. So maybe, you could see if Jihin gets a win, she could get some sort of high-profile fight, maybe like I don't know what's going on with with Denise Sambuanga. Maybe they're going to do an interim or something with Gihin and Ayaka. Who knows? But I'd like to see that division get going. At weight MMA, it's been stalling for so long now. Yeah, so I just think if Ripton gets a statement win here, I believe he'll get a contract because he's got a lot of fans already. Training partner, long time, and friend, long time. Johan Ghazali, the families know each other very well. But yes, that's one to watch out for as well. But Mohamed Redho also got quite a big following. Seems like a superstar in his own right. So it's not going to be an easy fight against Rocky out of Indonesia. He did lose his debut in October, though, to Fali Kit. So that was a unanimous decision. We'll see. I'm excited for that fight. What else is on there? Lucas Ganin, I like him. MMA, bantamweight MMA, against Ilyas Ezieo. That I've never seen MMA so high. That was another point I saw someone made to me on socials when I posted it. Sixth fight. Normally the MMA is out of the way after fight 1 and 2, But longer cards now, they're pushing the MMA higher, which is nice to see. And more kickboxing is the other bonus from that. And I love my kickboxing, so I want to see some guys come through. We need to have challenges for the kickboxing strawweight division as well. John Zibella, currently the champ there. I know he's itching for a fight, so maybe we can start getting some new stars, some new blood in that division to kind of keep it going. There's one there, strawweight Sheng Yihang against Shoma Okamura. A couple of other kickboxing bouts at flyweight. Diogo Miguel Silva versus Kazutero Yamakazi. Anwar Cisneros against Shun Shiraishi. I hope I pronounced those right. Yeah, just some cool fights. I'm not entirely clued up on everyone here, but it should be a good card. It's the first one of the year. Let me know your thoughts. What are you looking forward to, guys? Start earlier and end earlier is nice. As Juliana, he's there for me filming it, so I'm sure he'd like to get away earlier. But currently, it looks like it's going to start earlier, end at the same time, so an even longer day for him. Sadly. Let's go. Happy New Year, AV Mail. There's Happy New Year, everyone. Yeah. What did you all do? Let me know how you celebrate. I was in bed before it even hit 12. I think I went to bed at 11:30, something like that. Because I wanted to watch fireworks, and I was talking to, who was it? Angelo Di Bella about that, John's dad. I was showing him, this is because we live opposite the Disneyland out here, and you can see the Disney fireworks from here, right on the beach. And I was excited, but then the Hong Kong cancelled all the fireworks displays this year because of the typo fire, the tragedy there with I think 159 people died when the housing estates all went up in flames. Huge tragedy here at the end of last year. I think it was early December. So Hong Kong cancelled all of that. Normally they have big fireworks displays. So I didn't do much for New Year's. Just stayed in. The thing was, it was also my baby's 100th day on Earth. So we just did a little cake, and I can't remember what else we had, but it was a little celebration. It was fun. Yeah, no women's bouts, Sean says on this card. I didn't even realize, but you're right. I'm sure there will be plenty more chances though. Live watch-alongs is degenerate hours. There's dark sides for Friday fights. Do a fight preview and breakdown. I watched the Friday fights, but don't know dick about who's on the card and who's fighting. That's the meat right there. I think neither do I. Dark side, so that's the problem. But we'll be maybe doing a more in-depth preview later in the week, but I often don't know myself too much about a lot of these fighters because a lot of them are debutants. They find them. I'm very impressed by the matchmakers on One Lumpini, the way they put together a show every week, pretty much throughout the year. 12 fights, it's a lot of fights, and they find consistently high level people, put on consistently great shows. So tip of their hat to Timo, Rob Cox, all the guys there, uh, all the team at One Thailand, legends. Yeah, right. Happy birthday to Zhong Jingnan. Yeah, I think that was right. Vegan Crane. Is it today or was it another day? Let's have a little look. Zhong Jingnan. Born on January 12th is today. She's 38, same age as me, but I got a few weeks on her. All right. Well, happy birthday, Zhang Jingnan. What a great gift it would be for one to give her a fight. You know, we all want to see the panda back defending that strawweight MMA title. You know, I would love to see her just come down and challenge for atomweight. You know, if Denise, I don't know what's going on with Denise. I said it before, but yeah, maybe we can get a little. If Denise is out long term, we can have a little mini Grand Prix. How about two semifinals? Get Ayaka Miura in there, Jung Jingnan, maybe Jihin if she gets this win, and Chihiro Sawada is up in action as well in January, I think. She definitely deserves to be in there. Chihiro. When is she back? Yeah, she's back against Natalie Salcedo, who we're speaking to on Thursday. So I think the winner of that you can stick in this little mini Grand Prix for an interim belt. It depends. I don't know what's up with Denise, but she was out a long way off before the November fight with Aka. She pulled out of that, so it must be something fairly serious. But she called it medical reasons. There's been no update on that. But yes, happy birthday to Xiong Jing Nan. Right, Pet Garfield. We do love Pet Garfield. Yes. But shout out his opponent. Yeah. Well, I like both the guys. Story of the fight. I love Pet Garfield. Great name. A great fighter. Sad New Year's without fireworks, but I understand given the fight. Yeah, it's understandable. So yeah, just there was a party in the apartment a couple below us. Maybe it was on the ground floor, but they had a big terrace and they seemed to have the whole neighborhood around to their house. I didn't get an invite, but yeah, they had music playing all night, and yeah, it was pretty annoying. I'm not really bothered about New Year's Eve. I've never liked it. I've had some horror shows, horror stories on New Year's Eve. I find it really. I'd rather stay in and watch TV, yeah, and then just look because I can usually see the fireworks from the window somewhere in the world. And, I've had rooftops in Hong Kong. I've lived on some, just stand up on the roof and watch them. But yeah, I'm not really bothered. For me, it's another day. I'm a bit of a cynic on New Year's. I think I just don't have the energy to go out. I used to go out every year as a teenager and a young adolescent. But I find it's always disappointing. I find you build it up in your head. Oh, I'm gonna have the best New Year's ever. Da, da, da. And it's always just crowded with people who are really annoying, and it's everyone's trying to have fun and fair play. But wherever you go, it's going to be busy and overpriced, and it's going to be a complete disaster getting home. Traffic's horrible. Public transport's horrible. It's usually cold and wet, especially in the UK, even here. So I'm just a bit of a Grinch, a New Year's Grinch. Yeah, I used to stay in when I was younger, just watch Jules Holland's Hootenanny, whatever it's called in the UK. If you're from the UK, you know what I'm talking about. He would do this show on, I think it was BBC, every year, just have like live musical guest days. I'd watch that with my mum and dad, but as I got a bit older, yeah, I went out with mates. Yeah, I've lost my passport one year, just a back to back disaster. I lost my driving license, my provisional driving license, on the bus. I fell asleep and my wallet fell out of my pocket on the bus. so I lost like all my shit. And then so I took my passport with me on New Year's Eve, and then I left that. That got stolen from my jacket. So it is a terrible night. Yeah, I'm not a huge guy on New Year's, but I hope you guys enjoyed yours. New Year's. Let me know what you did. What's up, Nick? This card is sick. Sorry for the New Year's tangent. DSBV 27 says, just got in. Is the start time changed permanent? 6:30 a.m. for me. Yeah. What I was told is it's permanent change start time for now. I don't know why. Maybe Channel 7 just wants to get things going a little earlier. I know there's always people around the stadium from like 5 o'clock because people come early to beat the traffic. Because if you're coming from anywhere near central Bangkok and you try to arrive on time, you need to get there for like 5 o'clock because there's that horrible 2 hour traffic stretch, between 5 and 7. It's just brutal. Maybe even a bit longer either side of that. So I'm not sure whether it's for TV reasons, maybe to align with Japanese schedules a bit more because Japan is 2 hours ahead. Maybe they want to have because they often have when they have the Japanese guys and girls, they stick them on second or third on the card, and people think it's a diss. They say, "Oh my god, they put Takeru third." Well, no, it's because it's already 10 o'clock in Japan. You know what I mean? They want to get him on in prime time ish over there, so it might be something to do with that. I don't know. Vice Games says, "Will John Lineker fight this year?" I hope so. Vice Games official. I have no idea. Don't know John very well. I haven't heard anything. I presume he will. AV mails are contracts being given out less frequently than before. Mm, I think because it's the first show of the year, you're going to see at least one contract. They did that last year, I think. There was a contract at the beginning of the year or two, so that there'll be a bang. I don't think it's like given out less frequently per se. It's more. I think they want to build up their stars, because if you keep just having 2, 3 fights, boom, contract, how are they ever gonna have their own product? It's difficult to build Friday fights if you keep losing all your draws. Especially on the Muay Thai side in Thailand. If they just give Friday fights, just gives the one championship all its best Thai stars, the ratings are gonna dip, ticket sales are gonna dip. I think they need to have established names that fans are familiar with and remember and want to tune in to see. So there's a balance there. You can't, obviously, some people deserve a contract straight away. You see them, you're like, well, that guy would be really good on the main roster, whatever you want to call it. He would instantly go into the top 5, let's say, of this division, whatever. Although there's the new ranking system coming, which we can talk about in a sec. But they have to. It's like if you're a professional wrestling fan and you watch NXT, which is the developmental show, but there's a lot of guys and girls on there who are obviously already good enough to go to Raw, SmackDown, the main roster. But NXT needs its own stars for a year, 2 years, 3 years. Sometimes they keep them longer than they should, but it's just about selling tickets for NXT shows and ratings and things like that. So there is a balance, like I say, and I respect that. I understand it. Confirm Nick doing walk of shame every Jan first. Nah, I'm in bed. I'm in bed. I was in bed in 2022 before the fireworks, before the countdowns. 2023, I can't remember. It was a pretty shit year for me. I honestly don't remember what happened. 24. Yeah, I went out 2024, but then we were gonna do the count. We went to a party, James Bond party, but yeah, we both just felt really tired and wanted to go home, so we left early, and then we watched the fireworks from our rooftop. Uh, Good thing because we didn't know she was pregnant at the time, but she'd had a couple of drinks, which probably wasn't great, yeah, in hindsight. But, soon after we found out, but I think yeah, the baby had kind of been there for a week or so by that point. So, uh, don't want to give you too much information, right? Always stay in for New Year's Eve these days. Story of the Fight says, don't drink, so I'd rather watch JMMA and then movies. Yeah, of course, if you're an MMA fan, you can watch Ryzen's New Year thing. I actually like staying in for it. Yeah, I think it's cool. I like to go out on New Year's Day and do something. I like to grab the family, go watch something, like go to the cinema or go to a we had big plans here. We were gonna go to Disney or something. It fell through because we were all just so tired. Another caveat of why I didn't do much this year. Just when you have a newborn, you're constantly just exhausted. So I didn't want to beat myself up too much for not doing much on New Year's this year. And even Christmas in my head, I built it up. It was like gonna be the best Christmas ever. Da, da, da. Got all this stuff sorted, but in the end, it just kind of it was acceptable. But then I realized acceptable is fine. It's more about just being with people you love and all that good stuff. So yeah, I didn't worry too much about putting pressure on to have these incredible, memorable things. But I'm sure next Christmas will be better because Baby J is going to be a bit more aware of what's going on, and same with New Year's. But yeah, I like staying in, just chilling. New Year's Day, hit the town, maybe have a brunch somewhere or whatever, a nice dinner. Permanent for now, yeah. That's what I'm saying, AB Mail. Nothing's permanent in life ever, is it? I mean, you can say we have changed this, but you can always change it back. But the plan is for now, going forward, 6:30 p.m. local time. Which, yeah, sadly, if you're on American soil, could be a very early start for you if you want to watch your Friday fights. But good news is it's such a long show. You can still catch most of it, even if you're waking up at 7:30 still. It's weird because the fight announcement poster said 7:30, then suddenly it's 6:30. Yeah, that threw me off the SBV 27. I was caught totally off guard by this whole thing. I'm sure it's causing a bit of a buzz on social media and Thailand right now. Yeah, I saw it and I checked out with a couple of people at one, and that's what they told me. Yeah, it's the plan for now. Anyway, Nick also a wrestling fan. If yeah, dude. Yeah, I am. I am. I used to be like so into it, like ridiculous amount, but then kind of drifted away from it. There was a really sucky era of WWE. Around about when I moved to Hong Kong 2017, I just started drifting away from it. Vince McMahon was in the final throes of his reign of doom, but I think, yeah, Jinder Mahal was champion and things like that. I just started not to care about it. And then AEW popped up and I switched over to AEW for a while. And I was really into AEW for a bit, but then they self imploded in my view with the CM Punk stuff. And yeah, and then it's easier to watch and keep up with it when you're single. I'm not going to lie. But then, yeah, I met my missus 3.5 years ago, and I pretty much drifted away from it then because I didn't have time for it, and I was working at SCMP, and I'm not gonna say too much, but yeah, it was a tough. Things got very tough in terms of like the schedule with that job, and it just was more and more work, and I got a bit fed up of that, so I'm no longer there. I'm doing my own thing now, by hook or by crook. We're in a much better place, but yeah, wrestling fell by the wayside. A lot of my hobbies fell by the wayside, like gaming, wrestling. I like watching wrestling and playing guitar. You might see my axe somewhere here. There it is, the Fender Stratocaster. I got an acoustic somewhere too. what else? Yeah, I have a few hobbies which I just I've not really been tending to, but I'm playing football as well, and but yeah, I'm starting to get back into all of them now, and yeah, I started watching wrestling again a year and a half ago, maybe. Well, when it was cool, suddenly got cool again with The Rock coming back and the Cody Rhodes storyline, Bloodline. I was getting back into it, so I'm making more of an effort now, yeah, to stay up to date with it. It's still difficult, but what do you like? DBSV? I still struggle to watch both WWE and AEW, and I really don't have time for NJPW and things like that. I try and keep abreast of all the news. I listen to some podcasts on it. Is it true one's new rankings will rank the fighters by social media followers? That would be crazy if it's true. Anonymous. I don't know anything. I'm supposedly on the rankings panel, so I have no idea how it's going to play out. Honestly, I mean, if I'm still even on the panel, I've been on the panel since it started in. I want to say it was like 2020, it kicked off or something like that. It was in COVID times, and yeah, I've always enjoyed doing it, but my honest opinion on the rank is it's kind of drifted a bit and got a bit silly. And then, I would, yeah, people would just come into the rankings that they wanted to push sometimes. And, I think if you want to do rankings, you have to be 100% with it and you have to live and die by them. I'm totally fine if you don't want to do rankings and just make it up yourself. But if you have the rankings, I would like them to adhere to it. And they got rid of a lot of divisions and they would just disappear suddenly. And I don't know why. So I don't know what the new system is. There was a press release about it, I think, or an article. Let's have a little look. Good old Bear put something out the other day. Let me try to find it. Can't remember what day it was. But essentially, it was saying, yeah, here it is. All right, I'll let the article do the talking. Share screen. There it is. Okay. Boom. All right. So, one championship gears up for an historic 2026 with a record-breaking 72 events. Matt Fraser giving us the news. So, they'd already said they were looking to do around 70 events, right? So, here we go. 72 seems to be an official number, which would be its most ever. And of course, I think around 45 of those are, well, there were 45 last year, I think, Friday fight shows. So, yeah, most of that is Friday fights. Then you got presumably 12 fight night events. So, what are we up to? Like 57. So that leaves a good, maths isn't my best, 15 events, which would lead you to think, yes, more numbered shows, hopefully. Or maybe there's something else. I will not say anything, but I've heard some stuff which I think you're all gonna like. So, but it is a cool thing. So let's see what happens with that. You're gonna have more events definitely this year. That's the bottom line. So, world's largest martial arts organization will officially host a record-breaking 72 events in 2026, which will include several numbered events. So several. I was hoping for 12. I don't think we're going to get 12. If we got six, I think that's the most we can hope for. I think they're being vague on several. So, yeah, who knows how many of those. Six would be cool if every 2 months, but there's nothing until April, sadly, and then you got two suddenly there. I just hope it's not two in April and one in November. Like there was a long stretch last year, no numbered events, and the momentum does stall a bit when you don't have those numbered events. So I'm hoping Yeah, Middle East. As I think you can guess where 174 is. Jacko said it'll be Middle East. 175. No official announcement though on that. 175 is Tokyo. We know again. Denver in June, but that seemed to be listed as a fight night. So interestingly, on the website, let's say it might just be a numbered event. Hopefully, I want something in Malaysia. There's probably going to be another one in Tokyo, big one, end of the year. That'll be four, maybe five. I'd love to see China as well. I've talked about that. I know there were talks about China at the end of last year for a numbered event. So that's in the pipeline. We've got some Chinese stars as well now. Lu Mengyang could be a shock featherweight champ. Who knows? So that'd be cool. I would like, yeah, obviously more and more numbered events. I want Manila as well. I want to go back there. Kuala Lumpur, I think, yeah, it would be cool to go back. So let's see. It's a bit vague. It's a bit vague. But it says nearly 50 editions of Friday Fight. So that is also vague. It could be 45, could be 48, could be 46. I think it'll be between 45 and 50, or 45 and 48. So yeah, if you add on your 12, let's say it's 45. Um, how many were, what was it? Taiwan show 145. The first year they did it were 46. So it could be like 46, let's say. Then let's have 12 fight night. That's 58. So we still got, yeah, 14 events. And I know I can't say anything. It gives me hope. Yeah, we might have, uh, yeah, like 6+ numbered events, which would be progress. But I still harp on about it that there would be 12 eventually again. Monthly numbered show. One championship has to get back to that if they want to be, you know, really on fire again, like they were. When I first started covering them, it was more than one a month sometimes. Numbered. They weren't numbered events. They had the funny names like Breath of the Dragon and Warriors Spirit, Heroes of the Light. I miss those names. So yeah, sometimes I'd have two of those every month. It was a crazy schedule. Let me go back to the article though. The first wave of the calendar has already been announced. It features first pair of numbered events, the full Prime Video lineup, the first quarter dates for Friday fights. Yes. In addition, the organization will refresh its athlete rankings. This is what we came to see in the new calendar year, so fans across the globe could see where their favorite Muay Thai fighters, kickboxers, and mixed martial artists stand in their respective divisions. Stay tuned for more information. So, long story short, I don't know the system. Someone was asking if it's done by social media. Well, I think that would be ridiculous, but maybe it is. I don't want to diss it too hard. If I'm suddenly on the panel for, I don't know, would I even be on the panel if it's social media? I hope I'm still on the panel. I quite like sending my monthly updates. 3:20 start time for Story to Fight over on the West Coast. That is brutal. So I don't think you'll be getting up for that. Nick, are we going to see Duan Noi against Islay? Christopher asking. My gut instinct tells me no, not right now. I don't think they want to beat either one of those. You know what I mean? They would like them both to keep winning. Both quite popular, very popular, to say the least. So it doesn't make business sense to throw that out there right now. I think that is something you could put on a numbered show down the road potentially. That's going to sell tickets. But I could see them actually doing it on a tent pole, you know. because the tempos are still quite important for them to pop big ratings, and they like to bring in the big stars for that. So you know what? I could see it happening this year, yeah, and that'd be an interesting one. Storyline there, of course, with Islay winning the gold at Sea Games against Monkopet, and people were not happy. I mean, Dwang Donoi going to be getting revenge for Thailand, but Dwang Donoi don't really get on with Monkopet, I think, because she beat Dwang Donoi in RWS. But I don't know whether she sees it that way. But there's a little bit of spice to that one. Two future stars in one for sure. I think they'll both be fighting on the big shows eventually. Right. Got a split. We're doing our award show in 10 minutes. Story to Fight says, congrats on the 100K subs, brother. Well deserved. Thank you, Story to Fight. And I will tune into your show, which is starting right now. Shit. Sorry, I'm crossing over into their territory. I won't take up too much more time. I'll do a half hour or so. Then you should all go watch that one. Or get two streams going at the same time. Right. Sean James says, there's so much wrestling out there, especially for free on YouTube. Yeah, it is. The volume of stuff is difficult for me just to keep up with it. So what I tend to just listen to. I'm a subscriber to the, what is it called? Brian Alvarez and Meltzer on YouTube. I have a subscription, so I get the Wrestling Observer, Radio, and Figure Four, whatever it's called, Daily. All the shows on there. I just keep up to date with it there. You sound very much like myself. Can't watch it with my wife. I start to see it through her eyes instead as a fan. As a fan. Was a big wrestling fan, became a big MMA fan through them. Yes. DSVV. I began as a wrestling fan from the age of 4 or something like that, and I gravitated towards MMA. I think a lot of people do, right? I think UFC's initial surge in the 2000s, a lot of those fans came through from WWF and WCW, and when the Monday Night Wars kind of folded and the product got a bit stale, I think a lot of those fans who were very raucous and rowdy in the Attitude Era, as they called it, went over to UFC, and especially when Brock Lesnar himself jumped over. So there was a natural crossover there. Yeah, it definitely led me to it. So yeah, it is difficult. I can't watch it with my missus, and like she just has no time for it at all. She's tried a couple times to pretend, but I don't want to put her through that. So I just try and find the right time, to watch it. But it's difficult. It's difficult. Nick, are you going to see Dang Noi versus? Oh, we've done that one. Forever Chronicles, Forgotten Chronicles. Oh, it's a different account asking the same question. Yeah, hopefully I answered that. I think we will see it. Maybe this year. Why didn't Lu Meng Yang receive a 50K bonus? Vegan Kratos. Well, I think they were probably worried of the optics of like a celebratory moment after a huge horror injury like that to one of their biggest stars. Maybe would have caused a riot in Lumpini or some backlash online. It would have been one of those to me. I mean, he probably would have got 10K only. I don't know. There was a bit of, yeah. I know there was. I was talking to someone at one about this. Yeah, it was a little bit like, are we going to have 50K? If I think that the presumption was Tawanchai would win. It's like, would he get 50K or would he get 10K? And they weren't really certain. It was, yeah, even going on air, it was like, we'll have to see what happens. I guess Chatri would have decided in the moment. But for me, it's one of those where you don't do it on TV in the arena. You just flip him 10K backstage or whatever. Not physically like the money, but you say, you got it. We just couldn't do it in the arena because we may have caused a stampede of irate fans rushing the ring or throwing stuff in there. So I think he deserved it. But yeah, it's one of those, isn't it? You don't want to upset the fans and just do it quietly, do it backstage. I think he deserved it. All right, if they significantly increase the MMA roster, they could get to 12 premium events a year. AV Mail says, yeah, I'm sure they want to do it. It's probably just like, yeah, budgets and things like that. They obviously had more funding before they would get these huge funding rounds, right? Like 150 mil every couple of years when I first started covering them. And then, yeah, that's dried up a bit. I just saw someone posting about someone got very excited. I was getting texted, oh my God, you see one raised another 68 million or something. Turned out it was 6.8 million from the Cayman Group or something like that. So I'm not sure what the significance of that is. I feel one is now kind of in more of a realistic setting of making money through its product, which I think long term is better. But I do know that this year is going to be their most profitable year. That's what I'm hearing. And I know they say that every year, like, going to hit profit this year. Da, da, da. From what their announcements coming, which I can't talk about, but you'll see. So they're going to have their most lucrative year yet, I believe. So that'll be good, hopefully. And that's the way to do it. Just go and put on more shows and make more money. I don't want to see one just constantly going around trying to raise money, so they can like just spend it on stuff. I'd rather they live within their means. It's always good to live within your means. I learned that lesson a long time ago. So live within your means and grow naturally and organically. I hope this ranking refresh doesn't ruin or screw over flyweight Muay Thai. Lots of guys in there who deserve a title shot right now, Anonymous says. Yeah, we'll have to see how it plays out. I honestly don't know what this rankings thing is. Yeah. I could see it being like a pound for pound thing, or I don't know. I have no idea. Lu Meng Yang went against the script. Yes. Watching this on a lunch break, Lewis. Nice one, Lewis. Appreciate you. Shout out. One of my members. Vegan Crane says, if there were Tawanchai's kicks, he would have been given a 100K bonus. Yes. I'm pretty sure Tawanchai would have got a bonus for breaking Lou's leg. But I think, yeah, there are sensitivities with upsetting the Thai crowd and the TV audience. Watching this between Patriots game break. Oh, and is that NFL? Yeah, I guess. I'm not a huge NFL fan, so I saw there was an exciting game yesterday with the Chicago Bears and the Packers. But yeah, I'm not really clued up. But thanks for tuning in, Darkside. Yes, brave of me to go up against American football prime time for sure. They're ranking Johan at number 1. Anonymous jokes. We'll see. Yeah, could it be something like that based on popularity? Right. I had other things to discuss. What was it? We've got through a lot of things. Yeah. Fight news. So let's start with Nico versus Shadow quickly. So that is a cool fight. Yes. We knew already Jackie and Stella rematch, which I'm excited for. The first one was a banger. This time it's kickboxing for Jackie's belt. But yeah, a lot of people are upset that Nico and Shadow are co-main, it looks like. So I understand the frustration. You could argue Jackie and Stella is an undisputed title, but you could also argue Nico and Shadow is like gonna keep more Thai fans watching for the whole show and in the arena or the stadium. I see both sides of the argument. I hope there's not like an exodus of people after Shadow and Nico, but I fear there might be like a lot of people leaving. So if I was one, I would stick Shadow and Nico on last. I don't think Jackie and Stella are going to be upset about it. But if you're doing it on merit, Jackie and Stella's first fight was incredible, and this is for an undisputed title. Oh, but Nico and Shadow is a very intriguing fight too. So damned if you do, damned if you don't. I see both sides of it. But anyway, yeah, two great fights at the top of that card. Shadow and Nico. People were calling for this for a while. Even before Tawanchai got injured, I was calling for it because Tawanchai was very vocal about how, I'm going to beat Lu Mongyang, then I'm going to go and beat Masaki Noiri, get my revenge, then I'm going to take Superbond's kickboxing title. So pretty much, I think his plan for most of 2026 was going to be kickboxing. So I and other people were saying, well, let's do an interim title in featherweight Muay Thai division because you've got plenty of deserving contenders there. Shadow chief among them, and Nico Carrillo is in the mix for sure. So that fight made most sense. And when Tawanchai then got the leg break, yeah, it's like what you can't not do it. So Tawanchai said he's going to be back within 12 months, but we don't know. And he could have a setback. And is he going to have a warm up when he comes back? Most likely he'll have not going to be a title defense straight off the bat. So I could see him doing a kickboxing fight. He's not going to just come back straight away and face Nico or Shadow because that's a huge fight straight off the bat. He's going to want to blow off the cobwebs, shake off the ring rust, all of that stuff. So I don't see Tawanchai defending the Muay Thai belt or doing a undisputed thing until 2027. So and we don't know how he's going to recover from that injury. Could be complications. Stamp, we saw what happened with her, right? She had a comeback planned for May last year, and then that didn't happen. And then the fight with Denise in Denver didn't happen. So she eventually came back in November. So Tawanchai could have setbacks. So I think it's perfect to do the interim bout. Some other cool fights on this card. February. It's nice that they're announcing it so early, I like that. Adrian Lee versus Shozo Sojima. This is the fight to make, I think, because both guys lost to Ty Ruotolo, and they were going to actually fight in March, at 117 Saitama Super Arena. That was the fight, and then Shozo withdrew, and Adrian beat some other dude. I forgot who it was. But, yeah, so that makes sense. You probably think Adrian's gonna get back in the win column there, but Shozo looked good in the other fight, not against Ty. So yeah, he's dangerous. We'll see. Fabricio Andre grappling featherweight against Joao Pedro Bueno Mendes. Don't know much about Joao, but seen Fabricio a couple of times. Surprised they haven't made a belt for him yet. I figured they would do that. Just like with Diogo Hayes, maybe they want him to get another win first because the last win he missed weight for failed hydration. Right. Danny Kingat against Hu Yong. That should be a fun one. Flyweight, MMA. Jihin, like we said, against Gabriela Fujimoto out of Brazil. Debutante. Atomweight MMA. And then Black Panther's back against Diego Paez. That's a fun one. Flyweight Muay Thai. Diego riding a win over Johan Ghazali. Black Panther with a win over the other Johan Estupinan. So that should be a good one to kick things off if it stays that way. It's a cool card. I really like it. January as well has fleshed out a little bit since we last spoke. Main event is still Rambolek and Abdullah Daikaev, which is a little weird. I thought they'd sneak a title fight in there. But usually these January fight nights, so January fight nights tend to be a little low key because it's for start of the year, and I remember it was like that in 2024. Sorry, 2024, 2025. What was it? It was a little bit more pizzazz. I think in January last year you had Denise and She won the interim belt against Aliona and Tankai and Akbar. I think that was January, it might be February. I don't know. My memory's failing me. But yeah, it was definitely a low-key event in 24, and this year as well. It's going to be a little low-key, but still exciting fights nonetheless. Asadullah making his debut against Kongtorne should be a great fight. Bokang Masanyane is back. Like I said, Strawweight MMA is back with a bang. Ryohei Kurosawa, who's fought on Friday fights as well, but bit of a surprise call up to the main roster. Though I think he was a Shuto champ in Japan, but he's got a UD win on Friday fights in September. But yeah, normally you need a bit more to get the call up, but whatever. So Helena Crevar, who is not on the show today, is tomorrow. We were going to have her today. I got the timings wrong, of course, as usual. Making her debut in grappling against Teshia Noelani Alo. So we'll see. Helena comes in with a big rep, part of Danaher's crew, I think, and the next big thing in America. So another star for one, I think, on the grappling side. They'll be pushing her, I'm sure, and maybe making a belt for her very soon. Lucas Gabriel is back. Lightweight MMA against Magomed Akayev. Gabriel had a positive doping test last year. I think it was a 3-month ban. It wasn't nothing sinister. I think he had a problem with his toes, and he got a short notice fight, and he took something to heal the issue so he could compete on that card. But it was on the banned list because he was on Friday fights and he got a short notice called up to compete on Fight Night. How can you say no? That's how he told it to me. I'm sure some people will doubt it, but from what I know, he's a very honest man, and I don't think he's doing anything sinister. But yes, Gabriel is back against Magomed Akayev, lightweight MMA. Joanne Gonzalez is back as well. Jojo against Sean Clemaco, who beat Diego Paez. So the man who beat Johan. So it's like a bit of a merry-go-round here. See what happens with that one. I'm sure many people will be hoping Johan loses. He's got a lot of haters these days, but also a lot of fans. But you would expect Johan to win that one. If he doesn't, yeah, there'll be a lot of trolling online for sure. But he's still a very young kid. But we'll see. We'll see. Sean is no joke, though. I like Sean. He had a great fight with Estupinan in Denver. Right, Chihiro against Salcedo as well. That should be a good one at atomweight MMA. And Issy Vetikefu, third time's a charm, hopefully, for Issy. Last couple of fights have been scratched right late on against Kyrgyzstan and Jabir Jabrilov. So Chase Mann, debutant from USA. I think he's 4-0 out of the regional leagues there. So not sure what to expect. But we'll have Chase Mann on Wednesday interview so we can ask him all about himself. And Carlo Bumila Ang against Marcos Aurelio, Brazilian debutant, rounding out the card. So no title fights, but it should be, there's enough sizzle there, I think, to make it a fun show nonetheless. Couple good fights really at the top as well. No belts, but intrigue, enough intrigue. Yeah, do people really get upset who is main versus co-main? I'm just happy to watch AV. Mail says, yeah, a lot of people get upset about these things, and they tweet about it, they post about it online. And yeah, I'm just, if I bought a ticket to the show and I went all the way out there, at 7 and 8 in the morning, I wouldn't really be in a rush to leave because I just may as well stick around and watch this other title fight, right? Like, why wouldn't you? Some people just, they only come to see certain things and they leave. How long Denise going to sleep on her belt? Vegan Crane asks. I don't know. No idea what the issue with her is. Yes. We need Mansour and Zakharov to face Pasio and Wakamatsu. Could be Dark Side. Tamashai, a warm-up versus notorious leg kicker Masaki Nori. I don't think so. They'll give him a soft fight off the bat. I think maybe a Muay Thai fight. Um, the problem with Tomato, yeah, his game is so focused around leg kicks, and there's a target there now, right? People are just gonna kick him, so could be tough for him to get back in the swing of things. Stamp looked completely gassed. There's AV male against Kana, definitely still not back. Yeah, I think she still needs another fight. She was gone for 3 years nearly, so you can understand. We'll see if Tawanchai is a little bit quicker to adapt back to things. But he had a bit of a layoff, didn't he, from the Nori loss March 2025. So let's say, yeah, if he comes back at the end of this year or early 2027, that's like 2 years without a. Well, I guess he did get in the ring against Lou. It didn't last very long, but we'll see. Is Stamp up for Zhong? I would love to see that fight. They had booked it originally for Denver uh, in 2024. Didn't happen because of Stamp's surgery. Hoping for more events outside Lumpini this year, says Lewis. Aren't we all? Aren't we all? I think there are. I can definitely say there are. Yeah, there is some more events outside of Lumpini. You'll have to see what happens. Looking forward to Anatoly versus Thailand. You might hear my stomach growling. It's 11:21. No breakfast here. Yeah, I'm trying to do this IF thing. Got a little bit fatter over Christmas. You can see. Looking forward to Anatoly Thailand. Well, yeah, Ben Thailand's back. They announced that one. When is he back? March, is it? When is the fight night? I know that they've announced Ritolo versus this Polish kid, Paweł Jarowski, I think it is, for March fight night, welterweight title, grappling. But Ben Tainan, what card is Ben Tainan? I posted about it, didn't I? Yeah, Ryugo Takuchi, 15940. So he's on the February card as well. Malakin, I think Malakin will do the Rug fight. Don't know when. Do you anticipate any shows in Manila or Singapore? Jeff says, I would love it, Jeff. Yeah, I forgot about Singapore earlier. I was saying I want to see Manila, KL, China. Yeah, if you could give me this year, Qatar, I reckon it's going to be Qatar. Let's be honest. In Chatri said Middle East already. No official announcement yet. Let's say that one. Tokyo. Then you can give me a Denver, a Singapore, a Malaysia, a Manila, a China. That's eight numbered events all in different countries. Then you probably go back to Japan one more time. That's 9. That'd be pretty tasty, right? I think we'd all take that. Ideally, you want 2 events in some of these countries every year. I think it'd be so easy to get to 12. If those are your markets, you do 2 in Japan. You got to have 1 in Philippines. Yeah, maybe 2. Singapore seems like less of a priority now, so you maybe do 1 there. That's 5. 1 in Qatar, 6. 1 in Denver, 7. I'm forgetting now. China, it'd be going back to the newish market, so let's just start with 1. Malaysia, 1. That's some of these places deserve 2 and have the crowd to do 2. I think definitely Japan. Oh, I forgot about Impact Arena. Yeah, so we throw that in there. That needs 2. And you can do 1 in the others. Japan, Tokyo 2, Impact Arena 2. I think Manila's good enough to got the fans there. Yeah, we'll see. All right. Can't see Stamp beating any of the current active Muay Thai, MMA, or kickboxing girls, says an honest one. Well, I think Stamp, it's tough 3-year layoff. She's got to really work her way back, and she wanted to have this Muay Thai fight with Vero Nico. I like the sound of that. I think that's a good one to see where the level is, and it would cause a lot of buzz on socials. So maybe they'll see Vero as too high level for Stamp right now, but at some point it's gonna be like you don't want to feed her a can. You know what I mean? Let's see where she's at, and she can take another loss in Muay Thai, I think. But yeah, give her something. Let her throw some elbows, right? Stamp says again she liked to fight Vero in the one article, but one might have different plans for Vero, says Ong Nine. So yeah, let's see, let's see. That's a difficult one because Vero is like a future superstar for them if they play their cards right. And you don't want to beat her, you don't want to beat Stamp, right? This you want to keep them away from each other sometimes, right? Haven't even thought about one returning here for a long time. Lewis is in Singapore. Yeah, poor Lewis. They need the Philippines too, Anonymous. I agree. Let me get to this other news quickly because I'm running over a little bit here, and I'm hungry AF. So I put this on Twitter or X. I'm never gonna get it right. I always say Twitter, but I just X sounds boring when you say it. So this was a little fun tidbit. Yeah, Martin Nguyen retired obviously last year in Qatar after losing to Shamil Kassanov by decision. For what it's worth, I heard not long after that from several people that yeah, maybe he would reverse that decision to retire. And I know Chatri. I asked Chatri about it at the press con, and he said he hadn't talked to Martin yet, but he was going to talk to him. So I think Chatri convinced Martin. Well, you know what, man? Like, let's not do that. Let's do one more. You know, the way they did with Ongla, because Ongla wanted to retire that night too in Qatar, but Chatri convinced him otherwise, and he had that send off he really deserved because he's a legend and he wants to let them go out on their terms. And I don't know, but I thought they'd bring Martin back for one kind of tee him up for a win and get him put him in the Hall of Fame the same night, that kind of thing. But the interesting thing is that he signed up with something called Al Leone. Al Leone, that is like a rash guards thing. It looks like, and yeah, here's what I posted. It said, "Looks like Martin's retirement could be brief." A sponsorship announcement indicated he will bid for a third one championship title in 2026. Let's see what the announcement said. This is from the Al Leone thing. It says, "Welcome to the team, Martin, two Division One champ, one championship world champion, a long-time fixture among the elite." Yes, I love Martin. He represents excellence, power, and championship mentality at the highest level. We're excited to welcome Martin to the team as he looks to achieve an unprecedented third Division One Championship World title in 2026. So that just got me thinking. You know, and I remember a conversation with Martin in 2019. Was it the back end of that year? I think in KL. Yeah, he was there with Ongla. They were cornering Teal Tang for his fight, and it was fun. I had dinner with Martin and Ongla on that trip. It was really cool experience, and I really got to know them well. And yes, I remember Martin talking to him after the post-fight press conference, if you can call it that. It was like the thing with Malaysia shows, yeah, the arena. There's like no room really for backstage. The post-fight interviews are always done in this tiny room. It's a bit like the Singapore arena too. Not the best setup for post-fight stuff, but yeah, it was like a table in a small room with some chairs. And yeah, after that, I spoke to him and he said, "Yeah, you know, I think someone had asked him, would you go back to bantamweight? Because he had tried, right? He won the lightweight belt. He was featherweight champ, and then he fought Bibiano Fernandez in 2018 March, I think it was, something like that, and he lost a split decision, and he thought he won that fight. It was a very close fight. They said there's only one guy that could make me go back and do that weight cut again because it was a tough weight cut for him. And so I think he was open to the idea of trying again one more time, but it never materialized because COVID happened, and then Martin lost his featherweight belt to Tan Lee, and then he lost to Kim Jae Young, and yeah, he had a bit of a tough couple years there. He bounced back, but then didn't ever kind of get back into title contention. I know he wanted to, but I think when he lost to Shamil, he sort of saw it as, yeah, I'm not gonna ever get the belt again, so why am I gonna do this? But what is interesting here is this announcement that says, yeah, Martin is gonna look for a third title. So it signals to me he's gonna try and get the bantamweight belt. And maybe Chatri said to him, like, look, why don't you try and do it, Martin? Stick around for one more fight. We'll give you a bantamweight title shot, because that division is thin AF, right? And especially with Stephen Loman left now, I reckon they thought that Fabricio would beat Enk Orgel, and they probably wanted another viable contender for Fabricio who wasn't John Lineker, because there's not really anyone else, right? Quan Wanil is also left. So maybe the thinking was he would do Fabricio against Martin Nguyen. He's a former featherweight champ, former lightweight champ. Doesn't matter that he's coming off a loss or whatever. So, but Fabricio lost the belt. And that would have been a really fun striking war. Both guys are strikers. So what is intriguing, though, and this was pointed out to me by Silver Wolf on Twitter, who I think is Dark Side on here, I'm not sure, but I can't remember. But they said, this is a great story, because, Martin was the last guy to beat Enk Orgel's mentor, Jademba. I can't pronounce his surname. And Martin beat him with that flying knee, if you remember. Jadamba Naran Tungalag, if I pronounced that right. Mongolia, who's Enk Orgel's coach and mentor. And Martin, he was also a former champion, but Mongolia's first champion in one featherweight. And Martin beat him. It's a great storyline. Martin versus Enk Orgel. It's a fresh matchup as well. God knows if somehow you can do that one in Vietnam as well. Like, they never really capitalized on Martin's Vietnam links, because I know there was a big plan to push him to Vietnam in 2019. I think they did a show there, but it was all like Muay Thai. There was no MMA allowed, I think, because it was banned in the country or something. I think things have since changed. But then, Vietnam, just when the pandemic hit, Vietnam was quickly kind of removed from the plans, for one, in terms of being a market. And it was a shame, because Martin Nguyen was well poised to be like the poster boy for that market. And but who knows? But you could do that fight anywhere. I think it's a good fight. I would love to see it. Martin versus Enk Orgel for the bantamweight belt. If Martin can make that weight cut, I'm sure he can if he gets with Peter Miller, Mr. Nutrition. So who knows? Maybe they're talking about. I'm sure they're not talking about welterweight. That'd be too much for Martin. He was very small as a lightweight anyway, but he beat Edward Folayang. So unless it's Mission Grappling, because I know he's got this deal with a rash guard company or whatever. But that would be underwhelming. So let's see if we can manifest this, guys. Martin Nguyen challenging for the bantamweight MMA belt. And, if he wins, why not stick around for another fight? I think Martin's too young to retire anyway. I told him this. I think he wants to spend time with his family. He's got 3 kids, amazing wife. So I don't think he is too bothered about, sticking around and getting more hits to the head, brain damage. He wants to have a comfortable life. He's made some good money in one. He was one of the big stars back in the heyday when they had a lot of MMA, like big MMA stars. He was on top, the heyday of MMA, and well, now it's more like Muay Thai and kickboxing are the focus. But I think, Martin was on top there, and he probably doesn't need a payday, but he would be right. And then if he loses, he could win or lose. He could retire on the spot and be 3-division champ. That would be history. I know Malakin's done it. 3-weight champ, sorry. So Let's see. But I think he win or lose, he may retire again and go into the Hall of Fame. But let's give him a good send off. Okay, that was the news. Comments. One is launching a BMF belt of sorts. That would be cool, Martin versus. Yeah. Martin was one of the BMFs. He wasn't into his grappling, you know. He always had fun fights when people were willing to just strike with him. Maybe he's going for the grappling belt. Yeah, it could be, but he's not a grappler. You know what I mean? That was his weakness. Like he's worked on it a lot. So did Ongla, but they're not grappling guys. They're strikers. So it'd be weird for Martin to try and challenge someone for a grappling belt. Like, say if it's featherweight against Fabricio Andre, like Andre would smoke him. I'm pretty sure. Let's be realistic. All right, Stamp. Stick to MMA says anonymous. The female strikers on one's roster are a higher level than before. I think Stamp works in MMA really well because I don't think her Muay Thai and kickboxing are good enough to beat Petjija or Alicia. You know, like that top caliber. Even Janet Todd. She lost one of the belts to. She can be very competitive with them, like, but I think in MMA you put her striking in there, she's like a level above everyone else. So why wouldn't you? It's like I think more success for her there and more opportunities, more money probably. So she's very good for MMA. I'm not sure she would be the champion in Muay Thai kickboxing. Um, can you have Denise on your live stream? I'll try. She's been a bit silent. But yeah, that was it. That was all the news, I think. I'm not sure if there was anything else. Just looking through my Instagram. I think we've covered it all. Yeah, pretty much. That's it. So I will just close the show with the unboxing. If you missed at the beginning of the show, I said we're going to celebrate 100,000 subscribers and we're going to unbox this award live. So here we go, guys. Then all the way from Grove Oak, which I think is Oklahoma in America. I'm really surprised it made it here in one piece, you know. I thought it was going to get lost somewhere on the way. I was terrified when I put my address in because I thought, oh, there's no way they're going to find it because I've moved somewhere quite remote. But yes, we are unboxing. Here is what it looks like. We've got a letter from YouTube. This little thing was uncovering it. I've taken it off. Sorry to deny you that. Oh, box is still open. Let's have a look at this letter then. Okay. Oh, and a card. So here's a card from YouTube saying, congratulations on your subscriber milestone. We are honored to take part in recognizing your achievement and want your experience to be exceptional. This award was inspected and packaged with great care by Rick. Thank you, Rick, for all of the help on that. If your award was damaged during shipping or you have questions, please contact us at this place. So thank you, Society Awards. And this letter saying, do you remember your first subscriber? I do not know. I think I do. I started the channel like a couple years ago, but then I gave up on it when I started working for Sports Keto because I was doing stuff for their channel instead. So I'm not even aware who my first subscriber was. Sure, it's one of you guys who watch these shows every week because you're all so lovely and you helped me out right at the beginning. I probably pushed it on my social media. Or your 1,000th. No, I certainly don't remember the 1,000th. Anyway, he says, chances are that you do. I do not. And we know you'll definitely remember your 100,000. Well, I remember hitting these numbers, but I don't remember who it was. Your fans may have found you while searching YouTube, learned about you through a friend, or maybe you showed up as a recommended video. No matter how they came to your channel, your audience stayed, their numbers increased because of you and the community that you built. We're proud to honor your impressive milestone of reaching 100,000 subscribers with the Silver Creator Award. Congratulations. We know you may have many more stories to share. We know your fans can't wait for you to amaze them even more with your commitment and creativity. So keep creating, keep building. We can't wait to see what you'll do next. And we're here to support you along the way. And who knows, when you reach your 1,000,000th subscriber, we may just write to you and ask, do you remember your 1,000,000th 100,000 subscribers. Yours sincerely, Neil Mohan, YouTube CEO. Thank you, Neil. Appreciate it. Maybe I'll put you on the wall here as well. We'll frame that one so that now the moment you've all been waiting for. There it is, silver award. Oh, it's cold, cold steel. You can feel it. You know, this is pretty cool. If I can drag this out even longer, I dreamed about this moment for a long time. You know, not for myself, but when I was working at SCMP, you know, I began covering one championship in 2019, Tokyo A New Era, DJ and Eddie Alvarez debut, Stamp versus, not Stamp, Angela Lee versus Yong Jing Nan. Ong La was on that card against Ken Hasegawa. It was just an incredible card. Bibiano and Kevin Bellingham, Falayang, Shinya, so many good fights. And just the whole thing changed my course of my life, right? And I decided after that to start covering one for SCMP, and I launched a few months later. I launched a YouTube channel there, and you know, I built that up to I can't remember, like 40,000 plus subscribers. But that took me how many years? You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. You know, to get to 40,000. And one of the saddest things about leaving SCP was like, oh, I'm not going to get the plaque, you know, for 100,000, because I really dreamed of that moment. It felt like validation for all my hard work. But to then come and launch my own channel effectively in like September 2024, you know, when Denver, that show, was when I really started putting stuff on my own channel. What is that? That's less than a year and a half, you know, to get 100,000 subscribers on my own channel in that time frame. I think is awesome, and I'm gonna pat myself on the back a little bit for that, and I'm really happy. But you know, when I thought I would be, yeah, I pictured the moment of getting this thing in the mail, and I guess I wanted to see it hung up on the wall in the SCMP office, you know, and taking it out of the box, you know, wondering. I thought, yeah, I can have my thing on there. So now it's great; it gets to go on my wall or whatever. So I'm super proud of this. One championship, Nick Atkins, one championship news, 100,000. This is awesome. Oh, it's even got hooks on the back. So I am going to hang this up right behind me here. Not right now. I did buy some hooks. Not sure where I put them. Bought them from Japan Home Center. Right. Yes, here it is, guys. Thank you for listening to my spiel, but very, very proud of that. It's a cool achievement. I know a lot of people dream of that moment. It's even got a mirror on it. Wow. And yeah, it's just a nice little thing. So I'm happy for that. But yes, thanks for watching it, guys, with me. And it's great to share this moment with you. A lot of you here, like the hardcore fans who were there from the beginning, from the SCMP days, and you came over with me to my channel and supported me. So I really appreciate that. And we'll hang this up there. This is for everyone, all of you guys too, who watch every show and comment and yeah, follow me on all my channels. You know, appreciate that. Thank you. 1 million is nothing. AV Mill says 100 billion should be next. Wow, I would love to get 200,000. You know, this year. That's the next goal. Congratulations on the award and many more to come. Thank you, Sean James. Thank you, AV Mail. Thank you, Vegan Crane. Thank you, Lewis. Appreciate all of you guys. Is Chingy Saddlesruff coming back soon? I don't think so, Vegan. But if he did, you know, I might hit 1 million subs with an interview of him for sure. But that is it, guys. I am gonna. Oh, look, that's pretty cool. Gonna leave it there because we'll be back tomorrow with Helena Crevar for that interview. So apologies again if you tuned in for that one. It didn't materialize. I got the day wrong. It's actually Tuesday. I thought it was Monday. Silly me. So yeah, we'll be hitting that, and then I've got Chase Man on Wednesday, same time, 10 a.m. Hong Kong time. So figure that out wherever you are. And Thursday, I got Natalie Salcedo. So the interviews are coming thick and fast here now. We're up and running in 2026. So stay tuned. There's going to be more shows. That's the plan. Hoping to do something every day, Monday to Friday, that kind of thing. So if you like listening to One Championship News, then why don't you hit that subscribe button, join the fun, hit the like button as well, subscribe, become a member if you really want to help me out. If you want to support me, it's not free what I do. There are costs. I have people to pay, like Giuliano, who's going to be there for me this week at Lumpini Stadium for the One Friday Fights 138 face-offs and the show itself. So yes, if you fancy chipping in $5 a month to help me pay my contributors and to cover things like that, then I appreciate it. If you don't, then don't worry. Just appreciate your support either way. But yeah, it's going to be a big year. That's the plan, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Go over now to Story of the Fights channel. They're doing their year-end awards. I'm going to jump on it and watch and see what they're up to. Yes, they're great friends of mine. Will and Mira, great supporters of the channel too. They're members, so you should be a member too. All right, thanks for watching this one, guys. Same time tomorrow, 10 a.m. Hong Kong. Helena Crevar interview, and we'll discuss any other news that pops up in between now and then. All right, appreciate you tuning in, and yes, 100,000, we did it. Woohoo! All right.